we're gonna dive on into some Magic. We did our Meta Monday and stuff this morning already, so we're playing some Black Devotion here in Historic, and this build is a viewer submission that's a little bit different than some of the builds that we've played in the past. So we've played a little bit more aggressive builds that play, 4x Gray Merchant and play a little bit lower curve. This build's going a little bit bigger up the curve, leaning on 4 copies of Dread Presence here, as well as 4 main deck copies of Phyrexian Arena to be a little bit more controlling. So this draws us a card every turn, and Dread Presence here says every time you play a swamp, you get to either draw a card or zap something for some damage. And we're also playing Veto Thorn of the Dusk Rose, which is sweet with Dread Presence. This can basically make Dread Presence deal 4 damage to your opponent. We've also got Exquisite Blood here, which is a 2-card combo with Veto. This says whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life, and this loops with Veto. So if you have Veto and Exquisite Blood out, and you either gain life or deal damage to your opponent dies instantly because of these 2 things triggering back and forth, which is sweet. We've got, some things like Mazemind Tome to set up some card advantage and also gain life to trigger Veto. We've got some Erebos' Intervention. This is, with Veto out, this card basically turns into a fireball in the late game. You just, spend a bunch of mana and gain a bunch of life, which is really strong. And then we've got some various pieces of interaction in terms of spot removal. We've got, Masteries and Murderous Riders and Eliminate. Well, in this case, this loop will end when your opponent's life total hits 0. So normally, if Arena detects a loop that you can't get out of, it actually ends the game in a draw like you would have happen in Paper. It has some same action detection type stuff, but with this, you won't hit that point because these 2 are going to actually kill the opponent. So let's go ahead and dive on into some matches with this one and see how it goes this time. Opponent showing Orphan Guard here. So I think we actually keep this hand because Orphan Guard, generally speaking, would imply that they're playing, a control deck. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Ghost. We're going to be starting that this afternoon as our variety segment. Looks real good. Nice, and this is a great draw. Let's just go ahead and kind of poke through or give us idea on how we want to sequence here. All right, confirmed Gandalf. Blade Knight, thank you for the 7 months. Welcome back. This is my overall impression of BioShock 1. The story in BioShock 1 was really, really great. I see why that game has a good following and people loved it. However, the actual gameplay in it was significantly worse than BioShock Infinite, in my opinion. The game mechanics in it were real bad in a couple of ways. Rough. It's very painfully obvious that BioShock Infinite came after BioShock 1, and that they learned from it. So I'm glad I played through it, but the actual mechanics, Infinite was definitely the better of the games in my opinion. How is Burial at Sea? So, Burial at Sea, I have similar feelings on Burial at Sea. So Burial at Sea was, again, really excellent story, but the gameplay mechanics left some to be desired. Actually, we did those last week, Luca, so if you check out the YouTube, they're both up there. We did Burial at Sea Part 1 and Part 2. So the second Burial at Sea Part 2 basically tried to change the gameplay from a shooter to a stealth game, and it really wasn't well designed to be a stealth game. So I actually ended up taking the difficulty on it and turning it to easy because I just wanted to shoot things in BioShock. I didn't want to play a stealth game. We want to draw cards. Simple man who wants to draw some cards, Chip. Now, when people bring up stuff like Spirit Guide, like, Spirit Guide's not coming to Historic. Things like Manamorphose, Spirit Guide, things like that are not happening. What Strixhaven school are you? I am a multi-class Prismari Quandrix. How sick would it be if we get to veto combo on the first game? We should get the rest of HA5 today, yeah. And it better include this lady. If there isn't an Elish Nord in these cards, chat, we're gonna riot, okay? Elish Nord and Culligan's Command. We deserve both. Napier, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Alright, so we ship my boy into Teferi here and eat their Orphan Guard, and then we cast Veto. So the problem here is I have the combo set up. Here, but I can't deal damage to them to start. I guess I could veto and ship into them, and then if they don't block, they lose if they don't understand how the combo works. That's... Moritog, thank you for the 35 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I did actually, Runtime. I was scrolling Reddit last night and I saw it. So I feel like my conclusions about Runeterra were accurate in that the type of game that the Runeterra devs want Runeterra to be is not the type of game that I want it to be. And that's fine. Like, they said in their post about Runeterra that their game is more popular than it's ever been, and I'm glad for them. I'm glad they're having success. Like, their client is really well done. It's very consumer friendly. It's a little bit sad for me personally that I don't enjoy their gameplay in their given state, but that's also, you know, that's my problem. It's not theirs. If they're happy with what their format has become, that's, you know, they're allowed to be.
You need to take a time out.
Murderous Rider, you're a day late and $1 short, friendo. Friend of mine at work is encouraging. Runeterra's current constructed format is like playing best of one historic or best of one modern. There's no sideboards, and it's a bunch of combo decks and aggro decks. There's a couple of mid-range decks that are like kinda sorta passable, but really they're not actually competitive. One of the big problems with how Runeterra does their metrics for things is that like their ladder is always super diverse because the ladder's super casual, and then like you look at their competitive events, you see like it gets a lot worse very quickly. Magic Arena Latino and Rads, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel this morning. Sunshine, thanks for the 29 months, and Cowboy, thanks for the entire year.
Some training.
I don't think I want a Murderous Rider the Narset. It might be right too, though. That's close. I think I want to hold this in case they have a second Teferi. Yeah, I honestly think if Runeterra was open to having sideboards in their game and best of 3, I'd probably really like it, but they also just like don't plan to do that, so.
Put thoughtfulness before action.
Yeah, I played, for people that are newer to the channel, I spent 4 months doing mostly Runeterra content because I really liked it, and their game just ended up shifting away from the play patterns that I enjoyed. We dead at this point? I guess I'm casting this and like, I can't even really attack down with this, right? Because they have Castle. The person that sent me this deck list said this matchup was real bad. I believe that, I think. Alright, so Duress can come in. Tergrid can come in. Exquisite Blood comes out here. Honestly, I think Veto comes out too. We just want more individually powerful cards. Erebos' Intervention comes out. Well, so that's part of the cost of playing Dread Presence, Huevos, is we need actual swamps for Dread Presence. Yeah, and honestly, talking about win rates, Niv, you know, we talk about Inverter a lot of the time from Magic's history, right? And I feel like that Inverter is such a good example of, you know, win rates aren't all that matter, right? Because, like, Inverter combo basically destroyed Pioneer as a format, but it only ever had a 50% win rate. Like, this is what it is. Petfuls, thanks for the follow. Thanks to whoever just checked out the Star Trek promo. Appreciate you taking the time to support my content. For folks that are dropping in, especially if you're someone that's not in chat yet, I've got a promo running with Star Trek Fleet Command mobile game for this week. If you check them out and play through the game on your mobile device through the tutorial, it takes about 5 minutes up to level 3. And you send me a screenshot of your account at level 3, I'll get you a sub gift to the channel as part of that promo. That's what the icon in the lower left is counting. When is the next Soglandia open? I need to put it on the website. Let me put that note up. Hopefully we're gonna have a I don't have an MTG Melee page up yet, but I need to add the date to the website. May 30th. Sunday, May 30th. The Trek promo is gonna run all week, so if you can't do it right now, you've got plenty of time. What sort of game is Fleet Command? It's I think it technically qualifies as a gacha game. You open characters out of loot box pack fragment. It's not, you open like fragments of them. And then it's different than something like Raid Shadow Legends that is not a strict RPG. There's also like base building and stuff involved in it. We're gonna play it on stream at the end of tomorrow's stream. Builder battles upgrade. Yeah, it has a lot of stuff going on. I actually liked the gameplay last time we played it on stream. We did a promo for them back in February. CGB, Covert Go Blue, is going to be doing the next open with me. So now I think I just take the baffling end here. And then when they pass holding up Memory Lapse next turn, we just activate Night and smack them for 4. Sly Croissant, thanks for the 23 months. Welcome back. Why did we choose not to bring Obliterator in? Because the stat line's just not good. A 5/5 for 4 is not good enough. You need cards in this matchup that, like, have decent value. Like, you play your 5/5 for 4, and they, like, cast Wrath of God and trade even or better on tempo with you. Yeah, Obliterator is good versus creature decks. You never understood what makes Raid an RPG. Well, RPGs aren't just, basically anything with levels in it is considered an RPG. Well, I guess I don't know, does a battle pass count for that? Anything with characters gaining levels. Is there a CSA roster of MTG people, or is it just you, Davis, and CGB? No, they have a number of people. In fact, Ali Andrazi, assuming we don't have any conflicts come up, is tentatively scheduled to cast our July event with me. He had a conflict for the May event, but I am going to try and rotate in some other people more than just Jim and CGB. CSI is a bunch of people that are sponsored with them, so I'm gonna poke some of their other ones to see who's interested in and taking part. You think there will come a day when we orient a Siege Rider? Yeah, definitely. I've talked about it a little bit on stream before, but just so people know, my rough plans for Hoaglandia Open stuff is we're going to be doing one on May 30th, just after HA5 releases, and then I'm going to take June off. I've got a number of family activities and stuff going on. The weather's going to be nice, and then in July, we'll do one right after the next set releases. What do we think, chat? Is this Knight of the Ebon Legion going to go the distance, or they find a baffling end here? It's not a baffling end. This card's so good. Very, very punchy, much wow. We have a non-broadcast Hoaglandia Open. Unfortunately, no, because the reason why we get prizes is because of... The reason why we have prizes to put up is because of the broadcast. They're dead? Oh, wait, yeah, they are dead, right? Yeah, sick. I was thinking they were going to Lightning Helix. Yeah, I'm actually posting the Meta Monday video right now. Thank you for the reminder. We started with Meta Monday this morning, and I was waiting for it to process on YouTube. So if you're just coming in and you want to see the Meta Monday report, we did it. We're going to be, from now on, we're going to be doing Meta Mondays first thing in the morning for the most part, unless there's some reason to wait. So if you want to... Is this the playlist? That is not the playlist. Okay, so Meta Monday. All right, there you go. That's a playlist that will get updated with Meta Monday stuff. So it's now up to date, and I published one from this morning. Meta Monday implies the presence of Feta Friday. Like feta cheese? I like feta cheese. Would a potential ban announcement be more reason to wait? I mean, every Monday is technically a potential ban announcement. So, no, basically. Yeah, we're supposed to get the last 3 HA5 cards today, which should be Elishnorn, Culligan's Command, and then a mystery card. Okay, well, with the Knight of the Ebon Legion drawn here, I'm going to wait to Thoughtseize till turn 2, because if I double Thoughtseize on 2, we trigger my Knight, which is nice. Whichever Pratt C, thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a ton of great people you can send that to every single one through on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way. What's the over-under on a pack combo ban before? I have no idea. Like, predicting how Wizards of the Coast manages their formats is basically impossible. My fingers are crossed for, I really hope the third mystery card for... I really hope the third mystery card today is an artifact payoff. I would love for Cranial Plating or Arcbound Ravager to be the last card. How's my weekend? My weekend was actually awesome. So Saturday, we went out to a camp, a state park with the kids' Cub Scout pack. And we did had a campfire and took a hike. And they made some stomp rockets. It was a really good time. And then yesterday, we had a small birthday party for Declan with all of his uncles and aunts that are vaccinated. It had like 3 or 4 people over. So it felt nice to do something that felt kind of normal. Thanks for the tier 2, Cody. I appreciate the 25 months. Welcome back. We did make s'mores at the campfire. It was lovely. Okay, so am I supposed to play this first of the Locthwain out? I feel like I'm supposed to play around a Wrath of God here. This is worse against Baffling End though. Like they have Baffling End here. Come on, just concede. Miss and concede. Lightning Helix. Start with this. Yep, you got me. Alright, so we take this. We ship this into here. We know they don't have Second Fight or Wrath of God, so I can play this. I can play this out. Well, I still have lethal next turn regardless, right? So we just do this. I don't have double activate. I only have 4 lanes in play. I'm holding on to this in case we draw Dread Prisons. Hey, Archangel, thanks for the entire year. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Oh, that's not quite lethal yet. And they found second white here, so they can hit Wrath of God now. Nice, got him. Someone asked about my weekend chat. And I don't have Facebook anymore, so you all are my social media, so you have to suffer through pictures of my children really quick. Declan had his 6th birthday over the weekend. And Bloons TD is currently his favorite game. So we have a Balloons themed cake for him. He's great. And then in the backyard, they got to be real life dart monkeys. So we put balloons up along this line, and then they had darts that they got to poke the balloons with. And they had capes because they were super monkeys. Look at that, we got a new companion. I like my cat. That is what when I buy BT dubs, when I say I live in the cornfields, this is literally the cornfield behind my house. The back of my house is quite, in fact, a cornfield. backs up to it. Fiend's Vessel, Luris. Probably a Rakdos Arcanist deck. Usually it's feed corn that grows back there, so you don't wanna, one, stealing is wrong, chat. But two, it's also feed corn. Oh, I guess taking this is kind of silly, right? Because now they just get to claim it back. I guess that's fine. We get to eliminate it, right? Do you have any animal issues living close to the cornfield? So, we've never had any issues with things getting inside our home, but we do have voles that run around outside on occasion. Not the end of the world, though. And for people that aren't familiar, voles, basically, it's similar to a mouse. Damascus Steel, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. I'm gonna pick up from the same place we left off last time, Red Link in the same server. Alright, so they have Luris in hand. I think I'm just playing Veto. I guess if I play Veto and they draw a land, they can Bloodchief's Thirst him. Yeah, Erebos could exile the Yard, but I could also just, like, use Erebos to kill the Luris, right? That's unfortunate. I think we're dead at this point, huh? Arcanist is very good when it gets to sit on the board and do its thing. One thing I'm not sure on is I think the core of this deck looks okay, but I'm not sure that Exquisite Blood is actually. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to board this out in just all the interactive matchups. I'm gonna cut my discard spells here. Just want more cards that play to the board. No, gaining life has a lot of value. Oh, I should bring in Nightmare. That's a good call. Yeah, I should have boarded that in. Honestly, I should probably just cut the last two vetoes. If we get a game 3, we'll board the Nightmares in. My card's actually very good here because it kills Pyromancer and Arcanist and then gets rid of the Yard. The card's boarded out 90% of matchups. What's the upside to playing it? So I would like to push back on that idea. So there are, no, it's not even just because someone donated for the deck, Enya. And this is something that a lot of people don't understand about deck building theory. And this is why Magic is best as a best of 3 game, in my opinion, too. There is such a thing as good game 1 cards. And something that's very common in Magic is post-board decks often become more interactive, which is why I love Magic as a best of 3 game, because interactive games are great. And games, generally speaking, slow down and become more interactive post-boards. Also, by playing cards that are more linear and proactive in your main deck, you are less likely to have that wrong half problem where your card just doesn't line up well into what your opponent is doing. And then post-board, you trim your more linear cards and bring in whatever interaction is most appropriate for that given matchup. So Exquisite Blood might not be good, but just because you cut something often doesn't mean it's not good. That's something that often, especially when I write down when I write down sideboard guides, people will often be like, well, Jeff, you always cut this card. Why are we playing it? It's like, well, we're playing it because it's a good game one card. What's the logic behind boarding out discard spells and matchups in their discard spell decks? Because these matchups, generally speaking, get to a point where, generally speaking, discard mirrors get to a point where both players are top decking, and you want as many of your cards as possible in your deck to play to the board in situations like that. I didn't want to Erebos' intervention, the young Pyromancer, proactively, because they have a Lurrus in hand. And then I actually think I'm still going to take this hit here, and I want to draw a card with this. Use my life total as a little bit of a resource here. Ideally, we find like a Dread Presence next turn and get to kill this with that. Hey, thanks, Average Name. I appreciate it. Wouldn't be here without folks like you. They shocked that in. They holding up like Fatal Push here or something? Oh, Village Rites? Yeah, it could definitely be Village Rites. Alright, and then I think at this point, I'm interventioning the Pyromancer, and then if they want to Lurrus and replay it, I can eliminate the Lurrus still, and then Baleful Mastery the Pyromancer next turn. I mean, to be fair, Windmagus, sideboarding is probably the hardest thing about Magic. Deck building in general is the most complicated parts of card games, and sideboarding is basically a deck building exercise mid-match. Which again, that is again why Magic just hits different for me than a lot of these other card games, because like all these other games shy away from having good, interesting deck building, and they do these weird multi-deck formats instead of having, you know, a sideboard where you have this deck building exercise mid thing. Just doesn't hit the same for me. Let's play Black Leyline over Nightmare is better Graveyard Hate. So it depends on what you want that slot to do, Zingzal. So you're right that Leyline of the Void is better Graveyard Hate than Elspeth's Nightmare, but for example, you can board in Elspeth's Nightmare when you just need a discard spell against a combo deck. So it comes down to, what do you want that slot to do? Do you want that slot to just be Graveyard Hate? Or do you want that slot to do more than that? In a format like Historic that's very wide and varied, generally speaking, it's often right to play the more flexible card as opposed to the more powerful card. Because there's so many different matchups that you're going to be playing, that flexibility is king. I've got huge tracts of land. How flexible are these swamps? Well, some of these swamps could maybe turn into deal twos. So, like, I mean, I've only drawn 13 lands and 23 cards. We're actually not that far off of the average. So, like, I know it feels kind of bad, but we're not that many standard deviations from the mean. Probably pretty close to 1 standard deviation, honestly. It's unfortunate we have to take 3 when we discard the land Necroxa. Yeah. I think if we would have hit 2 spells this turn, like a spell to get rid of this Pyromancer, we might have been okay, but probably did at this point. You're actually using math and rationale to justify drawing lands. It's not how Magic works. Yeah, I always, one of my pet peeves from the magically inept or the statistically inept is when someone goes, if someone looks at the game that they're playing and they're like, oh, I flooded out. And it's like they've seen like 30 cards in their deck, and they've drawn exactly average number of lands for having drawn 30 cards. And their definition of flooding is simply they drew a lot of lands, not a proportional number of lands. It's like, well, if you saw 30 cards and you drew 12 lands in your 24 land deck, you're actually like exactly average. So you're not flooded, you just played a long game. Heard the phrase statistically inept and immediately felt attacked. That's why, as a salty Magic player, the hypergeometric calculator is my friend. I get to mathematically know how bad my beat was. Yeah, exactly. You get to commiserate with the numbers, Precipic. We are not playing Eggdom's Awakening because we have Dread Presence. You need Swamps for this card to work. As always, remember, if you ever come in and you're wondering, hey, is Jeff playing card X? You can type ! deck in chat to get a link to the deck list. It's for the 100 bits, Beetle. Appreciate you. I borrowed a Legacy Lands deck once and I flooded like every game with it. Alright, so I think I'd probably want to draw cards with this against what's likely rogues. I'm gonna draw now in case we find a discard spell or another night like this. I don't want to like pump mana into this and get like fatal pushed and like lose my turn. I could be more aggressive here, but I think it's wrong to be. Oh, they're Tainted Pact. They're not rogues. Right? Yeah, punished. Alright, am I dead? It's turn 4. No land. That's so good for us. They missed the land drop last turn, so starting next turn, I'm going to hold up Baleful Mastery. We're giving them a window to draw land here, but I need to get enough pressure into play to actually kill them. It's like, yeah, it feels bad here when, like, they draw the land and combo kill us, because, like, you know, this deck feels like shit to play against, but it's definitely right to put my Dread Presence into play here and try and make them have it. Or like saying, okay, you have to have a land and you have to have both combo pieces. And we know they didn't have the land, so they have to top deck it. So, fun fact, J-dubs. Banning Oracle does not get rid of the turn 4 kills of the Pact deck. So for reference, the Pact deck can go turn 3, cast Tainted Pack, almost deck themselves. Turn 4, cast Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, win the game. So, banning Oracle means you no longer get turn 3 kills. But, yeah. For the record, I think the deck's probably still competitive with Jace. Yeah, it just can't be a Lurrus deck then. It also means that their combo is interactable via Planeswalker removal, and they have to have triple blue. I genuinely hope they get rid of something out of that archetype, but I also hope it's not Tainted Pack. I hope it's Oracle. I wouldn't shed any tears if they killed the deck altogether, but I think it would be fine if they didn't kill it altogether. Yeah, I agree. I'm also not convinced that Lurrus is even the ideal build of this. I agree with that. Hey, Respect, thanks for the half year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Oh, you know what? I should have scryed at my upkeep here. When I missed on the land with this straw, I should have put a stop on my upkeep. Give myself another chance to hit land 4. Alright, am I dead? Citadel Storm fell off the competitive radar. Citadel Storm was never on the competitive radar. In order to falling off implies that you were ever on to begin with. I would have missed anyways. I don't really want to give them a target for this, right? I think we just do this and pass. Slowly picking myself up by my bootstraps and becoming a shillionaire to live the Hoglandian dream. Thanks for the quarter for your Ashton. Welcome back. Ahmad, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate it. At some point, I'll be inspired to actually start playing Historic instead of just watching it every day. Thanks for the 2 months. Historic's a lot of fun. If you like non-rotating Magic formats, Historic's got a lot going for it. I wonder if we could maybe punk them out with Exquisite Blood this game. We've got a lot of card draw going, so if they don't find their combo sometime soon here, we can like drop Blood and then maybe find a veto. Virtual Realism. Thanks for the 15 months. Good morning, good morning. Man, where are my discard spells at, shit? Hey, congrats on hitting Diamond Kraken, that's great. Next stop, Mythic. Oh, I just like play out 3 Knights of the Ebon Legion, right? Your move, Yugi boy. The God Eternals are about to burst through the door. The Leech. We are. Wow. Wow. Savor the flavor, chat. And now their watch has ended. Flavor for win, but also sorry I brought it into the world. Oh, gosh. I could, but like this is interaction for their combo, chat. And I don't really want to give them a card. Yeah, I could mastery it, but like this is interaction. Making them draw is a way to interact with the combo. So, if I hold up 4 mana, they can't actually play around Baleful Mastery, chat. So, they, if you hold up 4 mana, you get to threaten to, not make them draw a card versus draw a card. That's how it ends up working out. Can I get a Thoughtseize, please? Man. Omen beats Mastery, right? No? Does it? So they leave 1 card in their deck? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Alright, so I assume we're dead here. So, my opponent, like, makes an incredible mistake trying to play quickly. We could get them with Mastery, but my opponent plays correctly here. We just lose. Alright, I'm not going to play against Tainted Pack with non-blue decks on stream anymore. So, for the remainder of the stream, if our deck doesn't make blue mana, I'm not going to be playing against Tainted Pack. They're just not particularly competitive games. And it's another Gandalf deck. I actually don't think it's comparable to Hagak at all. I really liked Hagak in Modern. I played a lot of really good games against that archetype, generally speaking. Well, these blue-white control decks are one of the few things that are playable against the pack decks. It's why this archetype was the most popular deck after Pact at the MPL weekend. Nacho, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. I don't know. We'll wait for some good news later today, hopefully. Usually if they post ban announcements, they go up in about an hour from now. If you didn't see the MPL event this past weekend, I talked about the metagame breakdown and my thoughts on why it was what it was and what should happen in the Meta Monday video this week. I think you'll wanna check that out on the YouTube channel. So we're boarding out the kind of weak combo that's easy for them to interact with. We're bringing in a bunch of discard spells. We're cutting the narrow removal spells like Erebos' Intervention. Is it already up on YouTube? It is. Yeah, I published it. This morning. Migbello, thank you for the 7 months of Prime. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Be Rich, checking in for the 38th month. That's a long time. Good morning, good morning. Did I just misclick and put my opponent on the play? I think I just misclicked and put my opponent on the play. That'll be fine. This is a matchup where that misclick likely doesn't matter. Imbot, thanks for the 26 months. Welcome back. I just wanted to have a better chance to hit my 3rd land drop, chat. I actually want to take Gideon here. I could put a lot of pressure on my life total. Around something silly like a Mana Tithe. Hey, Warp Booth. Thanks for the sub gift. Good morning and happy Monday to you. Appreciate that. See, chat? If I would have chosen to be on the play, I wouldn't have hit my 3rd land on 3. It was a big brain misclick. We're lantern control now, chat. Now this has Devotion 1, has a mana cost. Hey, welcome back, Rive. Thanks for the quarter of year. Welcome back.
Virtue will always triumph.
Doing well, Braveheart.
I've been waiting for this.
Hey, there's the swamp I wanted for Christmas. The Devotion 1 or 2 at the bug. I don't know. It's a good question. Thanks for the follow, Kid Shadow. Good morning. Subscribe to tell you that the thumbnail was your 3 nights getting Legions ended. Yeah. The Knights had a rough morning. It's dead, Jim. You've murdered him.
You hold no power over me.
And we get a swamp. Ooh, that's better than a swamp.
I'm sorry.
Did we not get Cake Man? We're getting the last of... We're getting the last of the archive cards today, Jams. So hopefully we'll be getting my gal Elishnorn, and we'll be getting Cake Command. Is the ideals. I think with the arenas here, I just want to gain some life. Historic archive. Listen, it's an archive now, chat. Yeah, we should be getting Culligan's Command, Elishnorn, and then a third card we don't know. We'll see what that third card is. Endless possibilities for the third. Are we at a point where we're just, like, undiddling Lantern? I think we are, right? Are you wrong for wanting Tri-Lands and Historic? Yes. Something else that could happen too, I saw someone else commenting on this, is that Jumpstart is returning June 5th, and we could see new cards from Jumpstart as well again. Because if you remember, they excluded some cards from Jumpstart based on power level reasons, and they replaced them with other things. So we could get something like Flame Tongue Kavu in Jumpstart, yeah. Hey, Trey Tyson, thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great places you can drop that off here on Twitch every single month. Thanks for supporting my content this month with it. Wouldn't be here without folks like you. They said they weren't. Do you have a source on that, Ranger? Do you have an official source on a Wizards person saying they're not adding any other cards? We're getting the exact same cards as last time. Sources appreciated. Sounds great. Look at that. Opponent took the play again. We just beat them by putting them on the play, chat. A Wizards person said it, I'm ready. Yeah, if you could track down the comment, I'd appreciate it. Honestly, I think I just take the Gideon because it pressures my life total the most with my arena. Feel free to just link it in chat too. Links are enabled in chat. Oh, we're up to 22 on the Star Trek thing already. Thanks to folks that checked out that promo. If you're someone hanging out watching the stream and you like to chat with the rest of us, but you can't quite afford a sub right now, my sponsor for this week, one of my sponsors, the Fleet Command game, is going to help me give out some free subs to folks that check out their mobile game promo. So feel free to poke at that if you want an easy way to support my content and join us here in Hoaglandia. Mindfire Scion, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. It's for the third of the year, right? Sure, good morning. Do you want to sweep my knight? They could also just play the Orphan Guard out here. Yeah, Orphan Guard pressures are like a little bit, which can be scary. It's a real shame this thing has three points of attack, huh? And I played this out just to trade here. With my arenas going, I just kind of want to make sure I can, have a lot of life total to draw with. Nice. Okay, so I think with these draws... Here's the Reddit link on Jumpstart not changing. Thank you. Appreciate you, chat. Captain Said I, thanks for the 45 months. And Silver, thanks for the 27 months. So you question a fair amount. Urgency for Jumpstart because of power level, coding cost, and play pattern, flight to Kavu's in the last category. It says they'll still be... I just don't buy that response. They said Flame Tongue Kavu was excluded because of play pattern reasons, but they literally included another card that does the exact same thing. So what's it called? The what's it called card? There's a 5-mana goblin that literally forces you to kill itself or one of your other things when you play it. So it's weird that they excluded, it's weird that they excluded Flame Tongue Kavu citing that, but then included Goblin Commando. Do you think they veto this lantern? I think they veto the lantern. See this, chat? This is bait. There's probably a good chance they just missed the fact that Goblin Commando had the same templating. I think it's probably what happened. They probably just missed that. Thanks for the Prime Therabrame. Bully, thanks for the brand new Prime. Welcome to the channel. We're just gonna keep the cards flowing here, huh? Actually don't have huge tracts of land for a change. I think Stifle have an effect on Shark Typhoon when it comes in. No, Stifle's not good against Shark Typhoon at all. Shark Typhoon is Stifle is bad against Shark Typhoon for the same reason removal spells are bad against Shark Typhoon. You still get 2 for 1 when you Stifle a Shark Typhoon, because they still draw a card. Shark Typhoon is 2 separate triggers.
Meditate and prepare.
Stifle could be good with Lotus Field. Chat, I have Baleful Mastery in hand. So calm down about the Narset. For the 15-month skirt, I appreciate that. Welcome back.
This was overwhelming.
Grey Merchant is looking real good. Hey, Century, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Do I do this to tag the Teferi? I think I just keep bottoming here. Looking for a way to murder the Narset. Oh yeah, I have this for Teferi. Oh, I messed up. I could have Dread Presence the Narset, Noxious Grasp the token. Yeah, I played this already. Alright, that's fine. My dojo does not contain fear, chat. Hey, Rad, thanks for the 37 months. Welcome back. May 30th for Hoots this month. May 30th. Yeah, Swamp is lethal with Dread Presence now is exactly correct. It is Memorial Day weekend, you are correct. Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, and they have to Wrath now. So we get 3 looks at a swamp.
I have just the trick for this.
Grey Merchant is also lethal. That'll do, pig. Sick game. Yeah, okay, so I always try to include the cute cards that people send in deck submissions to start, but I think I like the core idea of what this deck is doing. Exquisite Blood and Veto Arch, they're just individually weak bad cards. Let's get rid of those. Let's get rid of Erebos's Intervention. What do I want to do? What do I want to do with those slots? It's like the Dread Presence Phyrexian Arena curves been like kind of sweet and impressive. I think I want a 25th land. Yeah, we could play another Grey Merchant. We could just play some Obliterators in the main deck. I don't hate Obliterator as a Magic card. It's like pretty fine. Play a couple of those. Honestly, I don't hate a couple more pieces of spot removal. Like I trimmed the Erebos Intervention because they're just kind of cute if we're not playing Veto. You like the Landfall 2-drop? That could be an okay sideboard card. I think I'd rather. No, you don't have to redeem the sub gift winding rig. If you're someone that's a sub that just wants to check out the sponsor to support me, I appreciate you. You already have a sub and don't want a gift. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Thirst as removal too. Agree. Couple of those. Honestly, I'm just gonna put the third Obliterator in the main deck. And then I like the idea of Skyclave Shade as an extra threat against control, and it's a card that can help us pressure combo decks. I'll put a couple of those in. All right, let's try this. Yeah, I think Shade seems like a sweet sideboard card. Shade seems like a sweet sideboard card for when we want to be the beatdown. Yeah, it's good against rogues too. Hey, thanks, Lance. I appreciate you keeping me around. Yeah, for people asking about more utility lands, we need swamps for Dread Presence. is the thing you're missing. We got a couple of castles, but we really want a glut of swamps for this. Joke's on you, opponent. I didn't want to cast those spells anyways. You can play triomes or just the 2 cycling lands. We could play a couple of black cycling lands. Honestly, it could be right to just like play 26 or 27 lands and like play 2 to 4 cycling lands. I don't think it's necessarily terrible. Like fetid pools, whatever the red-black one are technically swamps. Hey, Sago, thanks for the 22 months of Prime. Welcome back. Alright, they're gonna pay 3 life for a card, chat. Canyon Slough, yeah, that's the one. Loots, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Alright, now it's my turn. What are you doing? Good morning, Healing Tree. I think I'm using this as a game for. MTG Moriarty, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome to the channel this morning.
I'll have to order 20. Loneliness can hurt.
Thanks for the great content. Great way to start your morning. Thanks for sticking around, Speedwagon. So we could actually dodge the damage from this next turn, right? So I could draw at end step with this, and then on my upkeep I can draw in response to this. Hey, congrats on graduating and finding a gig, Moriarty.
Not really.
You're a little low on life currently. Need to put a stop on your main phase to make sure it lets you respond. I think I'm supposed to hold on to a swamp here in case we draw Dread Prisons. We do need a way to gain some life here. Draw with Gathwall. So we're gonna go to 3 when we discard a swamp here. They're 2 cards off of being able to escape this again, at least. Yikes. Need to put some cycling lands in our deck, chat. And again, like, you know, we're only on 2, 11. We're only on 13. We're on 13 lands, but we've seen 27 cards, chat. Like, we've drawn a lot of cards this game. Take a little information with us on the way out the door here. Cling is fine. They have the go blanks that exile our graveyard that makes Cling a little bit less than ideal. Little unfortunate we couldn't find either. We had 0 Dread Presence and 0 Gray Merchants in the top half of our deck there. That was a little bit unlucky. Hey, thanks to whoever just checked out the Star Trek promo. Appreciate you. Thanks for the support. Oh, yeah, that's true. We did have one in the opener. Sure, so we only had one of those in our... whatever amount. Maybe we want the 4th Gray Merchant over the 3rd Obliterator to get more life gain options going. Could maybe want a 3rd Mazemind Tome too. I assume they're gonna take the Tome and then they'll play a different discard spell and take the Arena next turn. Right, that's how it goes. You ask why Duress over Inquisition of Kozilek? Yeah, exactly because of why you said come eat pizza. The matches you want extra discard spells in are the control matchups, and Duress is much better than Inquisition against control. You should basically never be boarding Inquisition of Kozilek. I'm sure there's some edge case that someone could actually me about, but in general, a good rule of thumb is that Inquisition is a good supplemental main deck discard spell, and it's an awful sideboard discard spell because of the types of matchups you want extra discard in. Obi-Wan Kenobi, thank you for the 16 months. Good morning. Yeah, Gifted Aetherborn could maybe be okay. It all comes down to what do you want to cut to. I got you, Owl. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a card, try and hit a land here. Actually, I'm just gonna pay. I'm gonna do this, right? Normal Trent, thanks for 11 months. Good morning, good morning.
perish the thought. Ugh, what a wide...
Perfect. Latest historic cards are up. Sweet. Someone feel free to post a link in chat, but do not spoil them for me. We'll take a look at them. We'll take a look at them here together after this match is done. Alright, game the third on the play. My friend. We're happy with how we boarded. Run it back. Do we have the actual initial link? I'd prefer to go directly to the source for the spoiler stuff, as opposed to linking to other third-party sites that are just... If anybody has the direct... Oh, it's just the full list, that's fine. If it's... That might just be on Wizards instead of another third-party site, which is fine. This is fine. You don't really want to mulligan. If you have lands and spells, you don't want to really mulligan against the Mind Rot deck if you can avoid it. Thanks for the 21 months, No Lava. Good morning. Appreciate it. Gonna keep my life total high. I want to ideally be able to draw Phyrexian Arena and not die to it like we did in the first game. This might be wrong, but I think I want to prioritize keeping my cards that play to the board. It might have been right to be greedy and bid a land there. Alright, I'm gonna hold on to this swamp, not only in case we draw a Dread Presence, but also because if they escape Kroxa, I want to ditch the land and then Bloodchief Thirst the Kroxa. I guess if I would have played it out, I could have drawn with Castle. Yeah, maybe that was wrong. So this deck has a number of cards that hurt itself, but they all take a long time to get going. And like Death Shadow is a card that like you want. Death Shadow is a card that like you want to play early proactively. So no, Death Shadow doesn't really fit what this deck is doing at all. Yeah, we're not aggressive, and we have a bunch of other actual life gain as well. Ewan Kovac, thanks for the follow. As someone who will never do the research required to intelligently understand what's happening in a metagame, Meta Mondays are my absolutely favorite content. Thanks for the legwork for us. Thanks for the bitch plate board. I'm glad you enjoy it. Yeah, you liked the one from today where I just talked about the MPL event too? Wasn't quite sure on that one. A little bit less data driven, but it was still worth talking about. Yes, cool, sweet. All right, historic anthology stuff. They gave us Milady chat. Okay, that means there's a Culligan's command in here somewhere, right? Okay, sweet. Into the north. Search your library for a snow land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Is that? It finds Haven? It finds Faceless Haven? Okay, sure. Sure, it finds Faceless Haven. It technically finds Snow Duels, yeah. Ooh, Phyrexian Praetors. Oh, okay, so like... This is really smart. So they're, just for the record, this is great. So they're selling these in a secret layer, and they're also including the secret layer in Arena. This is a good thing. Like, Arena needs more things that tie it into paper, and like having the historic anthologies tie a cosmetic into paper, that's really good. I like that. Yeah, take my dollars. Like, they're kind of sweet looking in terms of the actual cards too. I like it. Yeah, this is Reanimator decks are about to get really sweet, chat. Like having both Elishnorn and Core Augur as things that you could cheat into play is great. Because like this is great against control, and this is great against creature decks. So suddenly you have two really good options for your Reanimator deck. That sounds great. And then you still have the more combo focused Philocomus Reanimator decks too. Here's this for those that want it. I need to run to the restroom really quick. We're not done with Historic by a long shot. In fact, we're not done with Black Devotion either. I'm enjoying this deck, and we're gonna play a couple more with it. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. I need to run to the restroom. Be right back. Sorry about that. Try to limit the amount of chair stream we have here. Of course, Moriarty. We aim to please. Yeah, I heard a few people talking about Lingering Souls. I feel like Lingering Souls would be kind of a dangerous one with the inclusion of Faithless Looting. Dutch for the win. Waiting for the server, and Hops, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel. We have like a Loxodon. The Convoke Loxodon deck. Morning, Sheriff. Oh, they're a favorable wins deck. Interesting. Man Tricks, thanks for the 15. Good morning, good morning. Think Into the North will make ramp decks more viable and historic? Nah, probably not. Sounds good, Logan. For people asking about build-around submissions with the new cards, remember you can submit those using the form on my site. I'll usually drop you an email back the evening after. Let you know if I'm okay with that. Gosh, I'm probably supposed to kill this Healer's Hawk, huh? So I don't die to another rally here. Well, I meant to scry, but we drew the swamp naturally, so... I mean, to be fair, most of the old historic anthologies aren't worth buying. Higher tier subs no longer have deck queue things, no, Inhumane Rabbit. Oh, are we dead? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not quite, but close. Yes, we got K-Command and Elishnorn. Looking for a swamp, chat. We go digging for a swamp here. Whale poop. Well, we gotta take that one, but now we're dead to a land. Swamp! Swamp! Yeah, we're dead, right? These are 3. So close there. What do the historic anthologies end up costing? $20? They're $20 if you buy the most gems at once. Like they're $25 if you buy the smaller quantities. Yeah, but the arena has a real chance of draining us out. And I don't think playing the arena... Honestly, there's a good chance I'm supposed to just, like, word summer all of these out in this matchup. Leave 3 in and see how it goes. It's cheaper to buy the anthologies and the fish for wild cards for 1 or 2 that you want. It depends on how many you actually want. If you look back at previous historic anthologies, there are a number of them where the average player only wants 1 card out of them. This is the first one where like basically all of the Praetors are bangers, and like all of these mythics are really good and sweet. This anthology is the exception, not the rule so far. It would be awesome if all anthologies moving forward were as great as this one, but this one's definitely not the norm. Yeah, all the commands are great. The Mythic Praetors are great. This HA is very good. Another person, check out the Star Trek promo while I was away. Thanks for that, appreciate you. Sure to drop me a DM with a screenshot of your thing if you'd like a sub-gift. Inject the Grixis directly into my veins. I need K-Command. Is that just for the Grixis Dragons with K-Command or something else in particular, Lambton? Let me know. I live in a cornfield. How many Pokestops and gyms are near me? I live in a town surrounded by cornfields. There's actually a good amount. We have a gym at the very end of my Grixis Dragon. Sweet. We have a gym at the very end of my sidewalk, in fact. Alright, am I supposed to Murderous Rider something this turn, or am I supposed to set up Dread Presence hoping to hit a swamp next turn? That's close. No, you get 2 mythic wild cards per 30 packs at a minimum. So you get a minimum of 1 mythic wild card inside of 30 packs, and you also spin the wheel 5 times to get a guaranteed mythic wild card. I think I need to hold up Murderous Rider here. And again, like, that's the predatory nature of Magic Arena's economy. I can't tell you exactly what it costs. I could just tell you a ceiling. Yes, if you are a Magic Arena Dolphin, you're someone who spends a little bit of money, rare wild cards will be your bottleneck. The number one sign that you're a Magic Arena whale is that you have more rares than mythics. Am I supposed to kill the eagle or the cat? I think it's the cat. Yeah, I think the lack of honestly, I think I want some more lands in this deck. I think the cycling swamps sound like a great idea. We keep being in positions where like Dread Presence would be really good and we don't have swamps. Would also help with flooding a little bit too. What's the Teamer Flash deck missing to make it more competitive in the format? A deck with that many expensive cards in it's just basically never going to be tier 1. I think the Teamer Flash deck is very reasonably competitive. It's just not good against decks that play Mystical Dispute is basically the TLDR, because you're trying to resolve 6 mana spells, so 1 mana leak's real good against you. As long as you're trying to resolve really expensive spells, you're gonna have a bad time. If I play more than 26 lands, can I play 27 lands? Probably good. Honestly, Ayara's been kind of whatever. Would I rather, like, I don't have anything cheap to sacrifice to this consistently. I kind of want to lean on, like, Obliterator and Merchant as my other things. Yeah, Ayara has been pretty unimpressive. We don't have something like Gutter Bones for her to loop. We could also, instead of going up to 27 lands, add a Mazemind Tome, like add extra card selection. I don't hate that idea. That's probably a better use. Yeah, build around submissions for Historic Anthology are open. In fact, if you look, I already have two waiting to be played. Let's play more. I've liked this deck. It's felt very reasonable. Let's play one more here with some small changes. More controlling build of Black Devotion here. Dark Warden, thanks for the follow. Good morning. I think we should play Canyon Slough or Fetid Pools because mountains are strictly better. So, being able to bluff counter spells existing in your deck actually has value right now. So, you definitely would rather have Fetid Pools. If you want to, like, big brain, actually, you should technically play a split to play around crap like Sorceress Spyglass, but that's, like, not really a thing. Hey, thanks for 36 months, Captain Commando. Game 1 Duress. Who hurt you? Who hurt you, opponent? Was their name Gandalf? Medini, good morning. Oh, they're probably just Tainted Pact. Yeah, that's gotta be it, right? That's why they're playing actual factual murder. No, that's exactly what this is. Well, you see, chat, unfortunately, this is Tainted Pact, and this is Oracle, and then this is a blue source. Analog Rebellion, thanks for the half a year. Good morning and welcome back. So eventually we can hold this up as interaction. We need to get pressure into play, though. So, like, if this, or the top card is their combo pieces. Ooh, punished for sequencing. Liliana's Triumph. Does anybody have historical data for us? What time of day do ban announcements happen these days? Anybody want to look it up? Hey, it didn't matter. They had Fire Prophecy. Is it in the morning? Is it afternoons? Yeah, I thought like long time ago it was 13 minutes ago, but that was before it could have happened every Monday. That was back when, like, in the before times when we had scheduled ban list updates. I think it could actually be any time today, yeah. It's a counter spell. They didn't draw 2 with it, so I assume it's a counter spell. They announced the announcements nowadays, though they don't usually. I don't believe so. I mean, for the record, for the people in chat that are saying sarcastic things about scheduled ban list updates, I actually think the lack of scheduled ban list updates is a net positive. I think the game is better off not having them pre-scheduled. Them having the flexibility to fix issues once they see them instead of waiting for a predetermined window is ideal. It does also hurt speculators, which speculators are my least favorite people involved in Magic the Gathering, so anything that hurts speculators is fine with me. You hate me because I liquidated my 401k on Splinter Twins? Well, I don't hate you, but your significant other might. No, it's only for new players, Penguin. Don't game the sponsors. Hey, attempt number 1 to kill you. Okay, so the Skyclave Shade should be helpful. Need to trim our miscellaneous pieces of removal. This matchup's not terrible when our opponent never draws their combo pieces. Weird how that works. When they're just Grixis control, their decks doesn't seem very good. We were just like 6 turns into this game before I realized. That's the problem, man. It's hard to auto-concede because it's hard to know that they're on the pack deck right away. I don't know. Nah, that card's not good enough, Thantos Fellow. It's too weak for both Standard and Historic currently. Maybe in the fall after rotation happens. Oh yeah, that's true. That's right. I said we were done playing against Pact unless my lands made blue mana. And technically, we added lands that make blue mana to the deck. Actually, chat. It's a good point. Okay, well, we get to smack them for 1 and Duress them and then draw an extra card with Mazemind Tome. Budget packed. I mean, it's not budget packed, though. Like, the pack deck just contains cards that look budget because they have to play Singleton. Morning, ASW. Got me. The one-eyed wonder weasel. Thanks for the 2 years. Welcome back. Well, budget decks do exist in Arena, Austin. Budget usually just means down pairing rarities, so you play fewer rares or fewer mythics. I mean, Stifle's not really a sweet card. Stifle's a card for getting people. Maybe just ditch the land Acroxa. Yeah, I think we're gonna do deck voting later today. Probably for the... I don't know about the deck. I think we're gonna do Blue-Red Phoenix after this one, but for the third deck, I think we're gonna do deck voting. We're actually almost done with this one, Crazy Duck, and it's felt very reasonable. We also haven't played against any creature decks, though. The ladder's basically been mono Gandalf's and Tainted Pack. I've not really played with or against the non-Phoenix Blue-Red builds, James. Yes, Win Magus. I believe, unless I've missed a case, every example of actual voter fraud that occurred in the 2020 election was in favor of the former President Trump. Like people, Trumpers voting for relatives and stuff like that. All the actual documented examples of it that we've confirmed. There are statistically insignificant examples of voter fraud. They're just really small amounts, and we basically caught all of them because the system works. Because our elections are secure. Ooh. I like where we ended up at. This deck felt mostly reasonable overall. And if you look at what we're doing, a lot of the cards that we're playing in here are like pretty reasonable Magic the Gathering cards. You know, Knight of the Ebon Legion continues to be one of, if not the best one drop in the format. Thoughtseize is a great piece of disruption. Phyrexian Arena did a really good job of providing us with an endless flow of cards against the control decks. You know, we've got Baleful Mastery, Eliminate, and Murderous Rider, all excellent ways to keep Narset off the table so we can keep the cards flowing. Dread Presence does a pretty good impersonation of both being a Phyrexian Arena on its own when we don't have Arena, or gaining us life when we have Arena in play already ticking down. We unfortunately didn't get to play against any aggro decks in that set outside of like the Flyers brew that we died to. But I think especially with these Obliterators in the main and like our spot removal and stuff, I think we have a pretty okay matchup against things like Grawl. The Jeskai Gandalf matchups felt very reasonable, especially post-board. Things like Skyclave Shade and Tergrid with some extra discard spells come in and give you a lot of play there. Thanks for the submission, Unk Phoenix. It was sweet. I like this. We've played like slightly more aggressive builds of Black Devotion on stream in the past, and this more controlling configuration was a neat take on it for sure.